What is up? What is good? Merry Christmas, Happy Holidays, whatever you celebrate. I'm Keith Jameson, go back here, guys, to 31 across the defense industry, here to break down Boxing Day, which now is 4 games. Had like a number of people message me being like, you know, are you going to do Boxing Day? I'm like, of course I'm going to do Boxing Day. I just want to know who the heck is going to play. Had so many games postponed. It's about 3:45 on Christmas Day here to record. Just did my Pat Mayo piece for Mayo Media Network. So kind of already have primed up what I'm going to say. I think there's going to be I always try to like differentiate those two. I think there's going to be a lot of crossover. Just here, you know, sometimes let a bad word fly or two. Don't, if I screw up, I'm not as like nervous as if I am there, like whatever. This is just me. So let's get into it. This is going to be an interesting slate. I think there's a lot of ways to go. I think I'm going to be on City. I'm going to explain that here in a minute. I don't think that's like the chalk way to go, but like shocker, it's me. Like I normally end up going chalkier, but you know, I'll go over some GPP looks for you guys. I know a lot of people have a lot of tickets for this main GPP, which I would not be shocked after what we saw in the NBA today if it overlays pretty good. So be ready. Maybe fire in some extra Christmas money into the DK account in case we do get some overlay. Fire at it. But just a quick reminder. Like, subscribe, comment, and let's just jump right into it and we'll go from there. So also, here's going to be a shameless plug. All right, because I'm recording on Christmas. So you're going to get a shameless plug. But if anybody's ever interested in SoRare, some of you know quite from my Twitter, I'm quite interested, really enjoy it. I'm trying to buy myself some Christmas presents right now on there to get my team primed up before MLS. But you know, make sure to DM me if you ever have any questions on it. Use my code; it helps us both. It's an awesome NFT game for real world football. I can't say enough nice things. I'm not going to take anything away, but just an awesome game. So make sure you check it out. And that's SoRare. It's going to stay up here because again, if I get notification that somebody's accepted my deal or counter offered, I'm probably going to pause this. So let's start though with City versus Leicester. City is the big favorite in the slate, -588. Leicester this is not like past year's Leicester, which is weird because you look at their roster and you're like, this should be a pretty good team. But they're really struggled defensively. I just want to read their goal count. Okay. So 3 versus Liverpool midweek. Second, it was not a full Liverpool squad, right? No Mane, no Salah, no TAA. 3 goals. It was at Anfield, but 3 goals allowed. They shut out Newcastle. Good for them. Everybody shutting out Newcastle. 3 away to Napoli, 2 away to Villa, 2 away to Southampton, 2 goals. And this is goals allowed. 2 goals allowed at home to Watford. 1 goal allowed to Ligia or Sawa. Can't say it. That's 1. 3 goals allowed to Chelsea at home. 1 goal to Leeds. You get my point. This is not like the Brendan Rodgers super organized. I would never say conservative because I don't think that's Rodgers' MO, but it's just not as organized, not as good in the back. You know, they've been missing guys. So I give them a little bit of, what's the right word? I give them a little bit of, I give them a leash or whatever that term I'm trying to say is against that. But this is not, you don't want to face City at the Etihad, City rested when you've been struggling. So, you know, I'm big on City here. I think that either one of these could end up being Phil Foden. Here's really the interesting thing on City, right? So Foden, Mahrez, and De Bruyne all in. It was actually Foden and Mahrez took a majority of the corners, with De Bruyne taking some dead balls, you know, a corner here and there. So if you just went Foden, Mahrez, De Bruyne, that's your first 3 in, there's no value here. You can make it work and not even like be sweating it. Like the lineup still looks good. So I wouldn't blame anybody. Gabby Jesus is starting as the 9. You know, he's sub 8,000. Sterling's under 9,000. So I think at minimum, one of your forwards is a City piece. I think Mahrez is my favorite. He's on PKs. Anytime he's on, he's going to share set pieces. Hashtag revenge game, but I just got done kind of ranting on that on my other video that, like, you know, is it really a revenge if Leicester signed you out of nowhere? You know, you were a huge part of them winning the EPL. but they gave you an avenue to eventually move on to City. They didn't balk when you walked out the door. They didn't say, no, you're not going to get transferred. Like, I'm sure I don't know Mahrez, obviously, but I'm assuming he doesn't have anything bad to say about his time at Leicester. So how much is that revenge? I'm not going to really buy into that. I'm just going to buy into a sub 10,000, share of set pieces, PKs, attacker on a minus 600 favorite. Like, that's good enough. So Bernardo, I think that would be the GPP way to attack the City forward. I think majority of people are going to gravitate towards potentially 2, depending on how you feel about Kane, who I think is the biggest decision on the slate, how you feel about Son, and then to a lesser extent, how you feel about Martinelli or Saka. I think they're both overpriced, but that I think that's how it would go. And maybe even throwing Jared Bowen. But I think City is going to be the most popular. João Cancelo, best defender on the slate, just always gets there. Look, I don't want to like belabor the City point. I think Kevin De Bruyne is a lock. I think Mahrez, to me, is a lock. So those are like my first 2 City pieces in. Then it's just deciding, do I want Sterling? Do I want Jesus? Maybe in a City stack, doing like a Bernardo just to be different. If it's anybody else, Grealish could be in there, but he's a midfield only. Or am I going to go somewhere else for my forward? I think that's the decision. Leicester, only person I would ever consider here, and I don't know why they're saying doubtful. He played midweek. I don't know that Vardy got it knocked, but if Vardy is in, I think he's worthwhile. That 5-2 game was all because of Vardy on the counter. Rodgers is still a good coach, so he can definitely get them on a counter, but that's it. Not playing Madison for the sets. They're not going to have enough of the ball. Let's go to Norwich versus Arsenal. I think this is an important game, but not because I should take it back. Somewhat because of Arsenal, but mainly because of Norwich. Let's just talk about the big thing. Placheta is 3,000. He's a winger at splitting set pieces. He's been splitting set pieces. DraftKings always aggressively prices guys the moment they take a corner. And, he's 3,000, 6.5 versus United 8.1 in his last 2. He's 3,000. If he's in, I'm probably looking at this game first when notifications happen, because I want to see if Planchetta is in, because he's just easy at 3,000. And I want to see what happens as a right back for Arsenal. I read they have him here on Sofa, but Tomascio was questionable for the game. My line on the Mayo show was, all I want for Christmas is Cedric to start. 3,800 potential set piece share, always crosses. Cedric's always great for DFS. That would be awesome to get Cedric and to get Placheta. It would immediately be core plays, instant locks, go pick out a couple City pieces, make it all work, and these builds get fun. So those are the 2 I'm hoping for. Outside of those 2, there's not much here. Martinelli and Saka are splitting sets. Odegaard's playing better, but he's not getting on set pieces. So, outside of just a game stack where you're doing Saka, Martinelli, Odegaard, and Lacazette, I don't see really playing any of them over a Son on a Monopoly, or over a Foden or a Mahrez, or even a Jesus. I think I'll just choose all of them. Then for Norwich, I think Krul will be interesting. If you're not playing any Arsenal, home favorite, they're playing better, or home dog, but they're playing better under Dean Smith. Krul's always a good shot stopper. I'd be a fan there. Billy Gilmore split sets with Placheta. It's not a slate for Billy Gilmore. You're going to play Placheta, and you're probably playing De Bruyne. So now, 4.8, or I think that's where Billy Gilmore's at in the utility. I'd probably pick a defender. So there you go. That's this game. Tierney's always interesting, but, I think he's not that far away from Cancelo. Just find the salary there. Spurs hosting Palace. I think it's an interesting game. Just for this side, I'm very interested in all 3 of these. I probably will have to do a Spurs stack with the 3 of them, just because Kerry King 6,800. I think that's the striker and the rim. What are you going to do with that? I don't think anybody that plays Harry Kane is dumb. I don't think anybody that locks in Harry Kane is dumb. I think if you fade Kane and he goes 3 goals, I don't think that was a bad decision. And if you play Harry Kane and he gets 1 DK, I don't think it's a bad decision. I think it's a complete results-oriented decision and play, and just probably whatever you think the opposite's going to happen. So, that's my take on Kane. Obviously, in past years, if I saw $6,800 Kane as minus 154 favorite home to Palace, I wouldn't even be thinking twice. I'd just be locking him in. We want to get back to seeing that version of Harry Kane, and eat that $8,500 to $9,500 player. Just right now, he's probably accurately priced at $6,800. The floor isn't there, but all it takes is one PK and he's there. So just understand that. I think, figure out your lineup. That's probably going to be one of the last decisions I make. I'm going to find the value, plug in those things, and probably play around with bills that Kane's in and play around with them when he's not in, see which one looks better, go from there, and just accept that results are results. Son's over Monopoly. Son makes a great pairing with Kane. I think he's a great foreplay. I put him over Saka and over Martinelli. I think Martinelli's price is crazy. I probably put him level par with Foden and Mahrez. Just, I think that the equity for a goal or assist is higher for Mahrez or Foden. So you kind of go, okay, how much are you going to allocate towards ceiling on those two? Probably go there. That's 4 times the favorite, right? City's minus 600, they're minus 154. But Son's obviously a great play. Then Sergio Reguilon, he's starting to become that player that we loved at Sevilla, that showed glimpses at Real Madrid in terms of DFS protection, like attacking and crossing, because Conte lets these wingbacks get very forward, right? I mean, he made Hakimi into what did PSG pay? Like 100 million for him. Hakimi was always a great player, but he really got to just get let loose at Inter. He made Marcos Alonso relevant. Azpilicueta was a decent wingback. Like Conte lets his wingbacks do a lot offensively. They have a lot of pressure to get back defensively too, but they have a little bit of openness on the offensive end as well. Emerson is the guy that gets tucked back a little bit more. Sergio's allowed to push forward, so I like him a lot. So that's Spurs. For Palace, I got nothing. I'm not interested in anybody really. YOLO GPP darts, Zaha, Edward. I'm not on Gallagher here. No matter if even if he had a monopoly, it's just too expensive given the odds, given the complexion of the slate. So if you love him, I don't think there's gonna be ownership set there. So go for it, but not really on Palace. West Ham, I think, is the YOLO GPP dart. Oh my gosh, and I closed out of it. Did I? No, I just didn't click it. If West Ham scores, if West Ham wins somebody the Boxing Day GPP, I will not be shocked. I think they're an easy team to stack. You do something like Leonzini, Antonio, Bowen, or mix in Fornals or something like that, and they score 2-3 goals. I mean, I don't think they're going to be that owned, because I think people are going to choose Cities, choose Spurs, choose Arsenal pieces over them. And, you can find yourself on a little West Ham island, play Declan Rice to shield yourself from a PK or something. But I think they're really interesting. I think Lanzini is a really nice value at 5,200. Share set pieces with Jared Bowen while Aaron Cresswell's out. I believe Aaron Cresswell is going to miss again. They're an easy pairing with Antonio, who scores the majority of the goals. Yeah, Bowen's expensive too, so Bowen people aren't going to be on, I don't think. But I think it's an interesting play. Southampton can get open, can also compress themselves and just play in the counter, which is really good for West Ham to push forward on them. So I think they're just really good pieces. I don't have a lot to say to them because I don't think they're going to be that owned. I don't think they're all that in play for optimal and like cash building. So I think Lanzini is, but outside of him, I don't really see a lot else. Sufal under 5K, I guess, is fine. Antonio's not really a cash play, but if you showed up with any cash, people are going to consider Harry Kane a cash play. So, is it that crazy to play Antonio? Probably not. So yeah, I think West Ham's a really nice play. James Ward-Prowse, is my boy. I normally always just lock and load James Ward-Prowse. I just don't necessarily know if it's a slate for it. I'm going to use up one of my salary spots on De Bruyne. Going to use it up on Planchetta. So there's only one more spot I can put James Ward-Prowse in at 8,800. That's utility. And I don't know if I'm going to have the salary because I'm probably going to spend up at 4. So it all depends on fit. If my last one is 8,800 and James Ward-Prowse is there in cash, I have no problem. I think he still is probably locked for double digits here. It's not like West Ham's defense is just unbelievable, but I think they priced Ward-Prowse pretty well, and they priced a guy like Kevin De Bruyne pretty poorly. So I'll just take the misprice and the minus 600 favorite plus versus the plus 300 dog. Nobody else on Southampton will have any ownership. So if you go Broja, Taya, El Younasi, whoever else starts, I don't know if Shea Adams is fit. Is he out? Let's see. Computer's freezing up pretty good here. Doubtful. Adam Armstrong, whoever. These won't be on. So no, they're in play. GPP only. go from there. All right, that'll do it. So watch that Norwich Arsenal lineup. You get a lot of value there. Move on to City, decide how you want to do it. Big set thing, decide how you want to deal with Harry Kane. Rest should be easy there. Got to give you a decent amount of good plays there. And if you do want help, I have a lot of people always say, DM me during lock, and I normally don't answer unless priority is always the FSI members. But if you want to join FSI, I think that I believe like soccer is like 15 for a week. You get all the slates, or there's daily passes. Join up. It's fun to sweat out with all the subscribers in there. You can get our core plays for Showdown, Classic, and then live chat with Storm and I, just answering your questions as much as we can. Sometimes the answer is not what you want. Sometimes the answer is like, if the guy scores a goal, is a great play. If he doesn't score a goal, it's a terrible play. And I don't know if he'll score a goal or not. The odds say he should. Result will be something different. So it's not always the answer you want, but we'll keep it real with you. Hopefully help make you better players. All right, that'll do it. Happy, Merry Christmas, holidays, whatever you celebrate. Thank you all so much for watching. With that, I'll say, soup.